we gonna be together, we gotta be honest.
You make me feel like a different man. You want a real job?
We are destined to live abundant lives.
I just wanna walk my own path.
And abandon your family.
Did you ask Victor to help you kill Duda?
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love the Shy, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today, we're going to be talking about the Shy Season 6, Episode 11. This is the recap. Now, I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And as I told you guys last night, this episode was crazy. We had a lot of reveals, a lot of fathers popping up out of nowhere. We know Alonzo, he popped up and we found out that he is Rob's dad. That was a fan prediction that came true. Kenya's dad, he was confirmed as well, the new pastor. And we know he gonna be a problem, especially for Papa. We know Papa kicking it with him is most likely gonna lead to a lot of negative consequences, but we shall see. And of course, we know your boy Darnell, he decided to go ahead and kick it with his other son, Damien, which pissed off Emmett. Hopefully Emmett does give his brother a chance because he seems like he just wants to, have a relationship with him. But in this episode, it did seem like it was some foreshadowing with Darnell and of course your boy Bakari, who is trying to change his ways. But it's very difficult seeing how he's still in the street life around Duda. The sad part is he doesn't even know about his sister Brittany working for Duda, which we know when he finds out that, he is going to be very, very upset. But I cannot wait to see once he does find out the truth. Also in this episode, we saw your boy Jake. He clapped the first lady's cheeks. And I'm like, man, your boy Jake, he ain't playing around. But it goes to show you, the type of people that Kenya is around. I mean, you got the first lady, you got her pops, this pastor who we know is flat out dirty and all he wants is money. And it seems like he's going to do whatever it takes to get that money. I mean, it makes sense on why Kenya is the way that she is, but we shall see. I was not happy that she was kicking it with Zay because she understands that Zay works for Duda and we know Duda is a very bad person. So Kenya, you're going to have to get ready for those consequences. You want to hang around Zay and smoke and, and kick it and have a good old time? Well, get ready for the bad times that's going to come because we know the bad times, they coming. I mean, all we can do is just pray on it, like your boy Jake said. Now, we also know that your boy Rashad has taken this new position, head of security for Alicia, which could yield some very deadly consequences. I'm just hoping that he does not mess up and he understands, what he's getting involved in. I mean, he put on that leather jacket and now he's feeling like a new man. The sad part is he doesn't fully understand just how dangerous Alicia is. And eventually he gonna find out just like everybody else. But let's begin the recap. What did we see in episode 11 titled Saints and Sinners? Now the episode starts out at church with Pastor Zeke giving the word, and of course Jake, Papa, and Bakari, they're there as well, and they're getting tired of this collection plate coming by once again. You know what I'm saying? They're like, look, they ain't about to keep giving this man this money, you know what I'm saying? Because that is exactly what it seems like it's all about. We know in part 1, when Papa was having a conversation with Kenya, he was talking about how they have to pay for parking at this church. So this dude is all about the money, you know what I'm saying? But Papa's telling them they need to chill out. Meanwhile, Jake, he is eyeing the first lady. He's like, man, who was that? So he was already on it from the jump. Now they end up getting introduced to the pastor and the first lady. And we already know the first lady, she was feeling Jake, talking about she likes his hair and all that stuff. Kenya walked off. She was pissed off. Seems like she does not have the best relationship with the first lady. We know the pastor, he was happy as hell. We know he just wants to recruit Papa. And that's exactly what he ends up doing by the end of the episode. Now we end up seeing Kenya have a conversation with Zay. I mean, he pops up in there lurking, right? And he wants to basically go out on a date with Kenya. She tells him she has a son. he says he doesn't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? He don't care. Zay, he just trying to get up in that. He know what he doing. But Kenya tells him, look, I'll think about it. So we already are starting to see that connection between the two. I told you guys, I'm just hoping that Kenya does not get hurt messing around with Zay, because we know Zay, he's of course got ties with Duda, and that's bad news for anybody that's close to him, in my opinion. But when Papa saw that, we can tell that he had a look of concern on his face. We also saw Bakari and Jake kind of looking like, man, what the hell is going on right there? So we're going to see how this storyline develops. I want to know if Papa will have a conversation with Kenya about, her kicking it with Zay. Now, we get to Keisha. She's making Emmett breakfast in bed. And those pancakes, they was looking real good, y'all. Looking real good. And we know she asked Emmett about him talking to Alicia. Emmett is like, look, I'm not trying to think about that right now. I'm just trying to chill out and have a good time with you. We know he gets a text, and they thought it was from Duda. I mean, it was looking real shook. But apparently it was from his pops, Darnell. We know that Emmett and Darnell, they will be going to, laser tag later on in the episode. So we know he was kind of relieved that it was not Duda. And we know he ended up hooking up with Keisha once again, and he had a great morning. Now, we get to your boy Leon, a.k.a. Alonzo, a.k.a. Rob's dad. He pops up, and he wants to check on his son to make sure that he is good. He heard about what happened, and we can tell that Rob was not really feeling this. Like, really? Like, you're gonna pop up all of a sudden? Like, come on, right? Now, he tells him, you ain't gotta call me Robert, just call me Rob. And we can also tell that Tiffany, she kind of feeling, Alonzo, talking about he's handsome. And we know Rob ended up telling her that he doesn't really have the best relationship with his pops. And he tells her that he is a lawyer, and he's a lawyer for criminals. You know what I'm saying? He helps people get away with murder, right? And then we end up seeing Alonzo and Alicia have a conversation. And hey, he had Alicia on her feet. You know what I'm saying? She was feeling Alonzo. She was reminiscing about the old days when they used to hook up. Now we know Alonzo does tell her why he is there. That's because he's helping Victor. And we could tell that Alicia was kind of upset because she's like, man, so that's why you here? You know what I'm saying? You're not here for real for your son. You here because you're trying to work on your case with Victor and get more intel. And she was kind of upset because she learned that Victor is being blamed for Q's murder, which we know he did not do. It was Duda. Now, Alonzo, he ain't stupid because he's like, look, I know that you sent, Rob to go get the job done, which she does not, confess to doing, but still, we already know what time it is. He already knows who Alicia is, and that's something that she would end up doing, and he was not wrong. Now, I think they did a great job by casting Leon as Rob's dad, playing Alonzo. We know your boy Leon. He's been in so many classics, Above the Rim, 5 Heartbeats, The Temptations. I mean, this dude is a straight up legend, and I'm glad that he's on the show. Now, we get to Jake, Bakari, and Papa, and they're talking about the church and how, the pastor really is all about money. And we end up seeing that the first lady follows Jake on IG. So now Jake is like, bet, you already know he's about to be on it. Papa tells him to make sure that he's respectful. I just want to know what's going to happen when the pastor finds out. I know he kind of gave her the look when she was talking to Jake at the church, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next. Now, Emmett meets his half-brother Damien, and he's upset. He's like, really? Because he thought it was going to be a father and son moment with just him and Darnell, but apparently Darnell, he wants to kick it not just with Emmett, but he wants to kick it with Damien as well, and he wants Emmett to have a relationship with him, but it seems like Emmett is not really feeling it. Now, I don't know about y'all, but it kind of felt like a foreshadow with Darnell at the end of the laser tag game with him losing and him getting shot twice. I hope I am wrong. I don't want nothing bad to happen to your boy Darnell. He just wants to protect his son, and he wants the family to be together, but it just feels like something bad is going to happen very soon. Now, while Gemma is having dinner with her pops and Tiara, Brittany pops up to the party with a bag of weed, and, Gemma was kind of surprised. And we know Tiara ended up inviting her to dinner. And we learned that Brittany, she used to cook for her and Bakari when they were younger. I mean, it was not the best times for them. And we're starting to see like more of a connection with Gemma and Brittany. And her pops, he can tell. He can tell that, Gemma and Brittany like each other. Now, Brittany plays one of her songs. Marcus is feeling it. He's like, man, I don't really like this young music, but this right here, it go hard or whatever. So everybody likes Brittany. And, Tiara, she's texting Gemma telling her, I see why you like her, right? And to be honest, everybody can see that these two like each other. So I don't know why Gemma was, thinking that Tierra said something about this, but it is what it is. We get to Pastor Zeke. He pops up to Pastor Stanley Jackson's church with gifts, and he gives gifts not just to Miss Jackson, but to Papa as well. Some audio equipment, some top level audio equipment for his podcast. We know Miss Jackson does not like him. We know Pastor Stanley Jackson did not like him because of the things that he did. And we know Pastor Zeke was talking about it's his right to preach prosperity. And we know Miss Jackson told him stealing from the church is a crime. I mean, they kept going back and forth, back and forth. I mean, this pastor, he's reminding me of like a Ricky Smiley type of character, man. I don't know what it is with this dude, but he definitely reminds me of Ricky Smiley. And Miss Jackson, she ended up talking about Kenya and how her fast little self probably was the one that got Papa to come to this church, right? So it's quite obvious that she does not like this pastor or even Kenya, right? Now, she learns that Papa's been going to this church and she's very upset, talking about you just going to abandon your family. Papa's telling her that he wants to basically go on his own path. And she's telling him, look, she just hopes that he does not, do the same thing that Pastor Zeke is doing, basically, trying to be rich and stuff. Know what you're getting into, right? And we know that Bakari, he end up agreeing with her, but she tells him, look, if I need your help, I will ask for it. So she was pissed. And Bakari is like, man, like, is your mom okay? Like, do she want me to stay with y'all? Like, man, like, I don't know what to do. Papa tells her everything good. She is just grieving. But we know some people was talking about how Papa, he broke up with Kenya because of his pops did not want him to be with Kenya, right? But he is still going to Pastor Zeke's church, even though his pops did not like Pastor Zeke and the things that he's doing. So is Papa, a hypocrite? Is he doing the opposite of what he's talking about? I mean, I'm just hoping he makes the right decisions, but we can all tell that Pastor Zeke is all about that money. And some even say that he may have ties to Duda, which, to be honest, it shouldn't surprise any of us. Now, we get to your boy Rashad and Alicia. He done clapped those cheeks. He's feeling real good. He's feeling like a new man. Now, Alicia, she gives him this leather jacket, and she said it belonged to a guy that she used to know. I'm thinking, like, really? Who was this guy? I'll be asking questions like, what happened to him? Just like Martin was asking her questions on a thin line between love and hate. Like, what happened? Did he deserve it? Like, what's going on, man? Alicia, she up to something. But Rashad, he still keeps the jacket, and she offers him a new job. You know what I'm saying? Talking about maybe he can be, head of her security. And he has to carry a weapon. And we know he's a felon, so he can't be doing that. But Alicia, she got power. She gonna make sure that he is good, right? So Rashad is feeling like a new person. I mean, look at him. This is like the start of a new beginning for him. I'm just hoping that he does not get himself in any trouble because he doesn't really know who Alicia is for real, but he will find out soon enough. Get to Rob and Alonzo, and at first it really did seem like Alonzo was trying to kick it with his son, talking about, I'm happy that you're alive. And then they start talking about Duda and Q and Victor. And we know Alonzo told Rob, like, look, I know you took out, or at least tried to take out Duda because you think he killed Q. And we know that Rob tells him, well, I know that he did. And then Alonzo said, well, who told you that? And he brings up Victor's name and all that stuff. And then he asked him, did you get Victor to help you try to kill Duda? So Rob, he's pissed off, like, really? So is Victor giving you this information? Like, what's going on? And we know Alonzo told him that Victor is willing to testify, and he is trying to get Rob to do the exact same thing. Rob is not feeling it, and he's like, look, I'm getting up out of here. And we know Alonzo, he kept trying to get him, to give him information, talking about help me out, I need a favor and all that stuff. He ain't going for it. And he's talking about, look, dude, you wasn't even around when I needed you, so why do you think I'm going to help you out? Well, we can tell just looking at Alonzo in those pictures that he still was thinking about his son, but apparently he let work get in the way. Now, Marcus asks Gemma, is, her and Brittany strictly business, right? And, Gemma had that look on her face like, really? Who told you that? So she's thinking that Tierra done ran her mouth, but anybody that was at that dinner, they can tell that something was up with Brittany and Gemma. They had a lot of chemistry, so Marcus ain't stupid. But we know Gemma, she was kind of upset, like, man, you all up in my business and all that. Well, he is just looking out for you because he understands you don't mix business with pleasure. And we already know that, Brittany, she ain't the best person that you want to be around, especially with her ties to Duda. Now, we get to the first lady, Tatiana. We call her Tatiana. She pops up over Jake's spot real quick, and she wants to get straight to business, y'all. Going straight to her knees, and that's all she wrote. Your boy Jake doing what he got to do. I mean, he's 18, he's young, so what can you expect out of a guy that's 18 and living life? I mean, this is going to happen. He's not going to resist this, right? And I'm expecting him to have some negative consequences because of what he's done, but this girl was thirsty, talking about, are you going to spend some money on me and all that? Jake is like, nah, you know what I'm saying? That's not happening, right? And I'm pretty sure that your boy Reg, he be clapping right now. He be very proud of his younger brother Jake for clapping those cheeks. Now we get to Emmett, Darnell, the family, they're having dinner. And then, of course, Damien, he pops up, and Emmett, he's upset. He's like, really? Why is this dude here? But Damien, I mean, he's cool, you know what I'm saying? He ain't trying to cause no issues. He just wants to have a relationship with his brother. But Emmett ain't feeling it at all. I mean, he's going over there playing with his nephews. And we know Jada, she had to talk some sense into Emmett, like, dude, I mean, your father, he got a lot of kids. You got a lot of kids too. So Keisha, she's sitting back and she's accepting all the different baby mamas. Why can't you just sit back and, you know, have a relationship with your brother? And I mean, she's not lying, right? So everything was kind of cool up until Damien started praying over the food, because we know Emmett, he was about to. He feels like he's the man of the house, right? Well, he is. But Damien, he stepped in real quick, and Emmett had that look on his face like he was pissed. Now, Emmett tells Darnell, don't be inviting unexpected guests. He was upset. Darnell, he ain't really thinking about nothing Emmett talk about. He's like, look, man, your brother, he needs a job. You know what I'm saying? How about you let him work at Smokey's? And Emmett, at first, he was like, nah, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? He could work with you. But he ended up telling him, like, look, he will think about it. Now, it is a whole lot of jobs out there, but to be honest with you guys, I really think Darnell, he just wants, you know, Emmett to have a relationship with his other brother, Damien. But I still feel like something bad is going to happen within this whole storyline. I hope I am wrong and nothing happens to Darnell or Damien. Now, we get back to Jake and the first lady, Tatiana, and she wants to know, when can she see Jake again? You know, what are the chances that he's going to pop up at church? We know Jake, he ain't really about going to church like that, and that's what he tells her. And she's like, look, what can I do to get you to come back or whatever? We can see each other. And Jake's like, look, you know what I'm saying? Just pray on it. Now, we can tell Jake, he didn't really want to hold this back. He had that look on his face like, man, yeah, I just clapped this lady's cheeks, but I don't really want to be lying to Gemma. Now, him and Gemma, they're kicking it, and he's on his phone laughing. She asks him, you know, what's going on? And he kind of plays it off like he's not really doing anything. And then all of a sudden, he ends up telling her the real truth. And we know Gemma, she was talking about, look, if we want to be together, we got to make sure that we're honest, right? So Jake did not hold back. He said, a lady came over today and she let me clap those cheeks. And Gemma, she was pissed. She was like, really? She could not believe Jake told her this so bluntly. And I'm just laughing like, man, he didn't give a damn. And he tells Gemma, like, look, do you think I was just going to, you know, mess around with you for the rest of my life? You know, just hook up with you and not nobody else? I mean, he's 18. What do you think is going to happen? And Gemma, she's like, well, you're my person. But we know Gemma, she was kissing all up on Brittany, having a good old time. And Jake did ask her about this. And she was not really trying to tell him the truth at first. But then she told him, like, yeah, me and Brittany kissed and stuff. So Jake, he already knew what time it was. He was not pissed off at all. And he stated, like, look, we need to just keep our options open. He doesn't really want to break up, but he doesn't know if they're going to be together for the rest of their lives anyway. And we know that Gemma was upset, and we know she takes this energy back to Brittany later on in the episode because now she wants to, you know, hook up with her. Now, we get to Zay and Kenya, and I was like, man, she really did hang out with this guy. I mean, I don't want her to get hurt messing around with Zay because we know he has ties with Duda and Alicia, which could lead to deadly consequences. Now, Kenya was acting like she never smoked before, but the way she hit that blunt, you can tell she's done this a few times. You know what I'm saying? This ain't been her first time, but they end up talking. We know Zay, he does work for Duda, but he wants to be his own boss. But in order to be the boss, you got to have a cool head. In your heart, it got to be cold. Now, Zay is talking about, well, he has a cool head, but his heart ain't that cold. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just hoping that Kenya does not get caught up with this guy because we can tell messing around with Zay ain't gonna be the best move. I want to know how Papa's going to feel about this. We saw Papa giving Kenya that eye when her and Zay was talking at church, so you already know that her and Papa will have this conversation later on. Now, we get to your girl Gemma and Brittany there at the studio, and Gemma, she ain't even trying to think about no music. She hops right into the booth with Brittany, dancing all up on her. And Brittany, she's like, look, I'm trying to focus on, business, on this music. I don't want to lose sight of the goal. Now, Gemma, she don't give a damn about that at all. Brittany has to tell her, like, look, if we take it there, it ain't no going back. Like, trust me, if you get this, it's going to be completely different. It's going to change your world. And Gemma, she's like, okay, so messing around with you is really going to change my life. And Brittany tells her, yes, like it is. So she going to find out soon enough. She definitely going to find out. Now, we get to Papa and Pastor Zeke. And Pastor Zeke has told Papa that he wants him to be his assistant and that working at Smokey's, it ain't going to go. So Papa's going to have to leave Smokey's to work full-time at this church. Pastor Stanley Jackson will be pissed off. I know his mom going to be pissed off. But Papa has to do this, y'all. He has to. He has to learn the hard way. If this is the right move, he going to find out. If it is the wrong move, he going to find out as well. But this life journey that he's about to go on is going to make him or break him. And I believe he needs to go through it to become a better person. Now, some say they're giving us a foreshadow for Bakari's character, which I hope not. I hope nothing bad happens to Bakari. He has had great character development, and we know he has come a long way. He decides to write in that handy dandy notebook that he got from Professor Gardner in the last episode. We know he is pouring out his deepest, darkest fears, his secrets. He's talking about his life, the pain and suffering that he had with his sister, the changes that he's made. Of course, we know he talked about Coogie and how he wants to take down the person that took out Pastor Stanley Jackson, but at the same time, Bakari states that he is not ready to die. He wants to live. He wants a second chance. He wants to do right. So will Bakari actually end up doing right and not slip up? Well, I'm hoping so, y'all. I don't want nothing bad to happen to Bakari because he is really trying to change his ways and do the right thing. But we know when you're doing business with Duda, bad things are going to happen. We've been seeing this since the very beginning, since Duda's been here, since season 2. And in order for Bakari to be able to live a good life, somehow, some way, Duda, he's going to have to be neutralized. And I hope that is the case in order for guys like Bakari and other people to have a good future. But that is yet to be seen. We know Bakari had the look on his face like he doesn't even know if he's going to have a future and if, things are going to go well with his life right now. I mean, it's a lot going on, right? And we know once he finds out about Brittany, doing business with Duda, spying on him, he going to be very upset. That's going to piss him off. And I'm eager to see how Bakari is going to handle that and, what's going to happen in the aftermath. But to me, man, this was a solid episode. A lot of things was revealed. A lot of fathers was revealed. Emmett meeting his half brother. I mean, it was crazy. But this episode, I believe it was like 47 minutes, maybe even 46 minutes. It was a tad bit shorter. I know people did mention how they felt like it was shorter. Yes, it was shorter compared to the first 2 episodes of part 2. So hopefully the other episodes are a little bit longer and maybe we get like a longer season finale. But I want to thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support. Leave those theories, predictions, leave it all down below. We're going to continue to talk about The Chi Season 6. I will be talking about the next upcoming episode soon. I mean, once they release that trailer, I'm going to break it down and give you guys that what to expect video. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.